we now live in a post-empire global structure. We have a lot of countries, right? I think the UN, how many countries now in the UN? Almost 200.
Well, it fluctuates, 196, I think.
196. Is today's world order a safer world to live in, more than an empire-dominated global structure?
Well, I would say it was a different world. It's not necessarily safer, though in some respects, of course, it has been safer. Apart from the war that's currently being waged in Ukraine, Europe has, managed to keep at peace, but it was the most bellicose part of the world for hundreds of years. But nation states elsewhere, yes, they've guarded their interests, they've fought each other and so on. It's not necessarily a safer place, but it's a different place. It's a place of nation states which have to make up their own destiny. In the age of empire, subject peoples had no say in their own destiny. That destiny was in the hands of the elites that dominated empire in the European capitals.
Do you see a potential for empire building on the part of certain world powers? Is that a possibility today, or are we totally post that and we have new international laws that are dominating the how the game is played today, which is impossible to go back to that?
I don't think you'll go backwards. As an historian, I'm conscious that it's impossible to predict the future, even the very near future. And Putin certainly looks like an imperialist. He has ambitions to, reconstitute Russia and make a greater power again. Whether that actually amounts to Russian imperialism, again, I think is a difficult issue. The other country people look at, of course, is China, People's Republic of China. Might China become an imperialist state? I think it's highly unlikely. I think that empire, in the sense in which we understood it in the late 19th and the first half of the 20th century, is past. And whatever happens in the 21st century, it'll be different.
So how would you define the global order today? I know it's nation state, but if you look at the balance of power, how would you define it today?
Well, the global order today is an order of the nation states, but clearly some matter a great deal more than others. We are faced with a multipolar system. You have China as a major player. You have the United States as the major military power in the world. Well, you have Russia, of course, with its ambitions to stand up and say, "Hey, look, we're a great power again." You have the European Union, which is, if you think historically, a unique moment in Europe's history of actually coming together. And you have flashpoints around the world, different flashpoints in different places. It's a rather mobile, it's a rather unstable global order, and it's held together at all by the desire of most states, and that includes China too, to sustain the global trading economy, because that's what's given us our current wealth. And disruptions to the trading economy, whether it's the economic crisis of 10 years ago, or whether it's the Russia-Ukrainian war, is a thing that worries a great many people. Whether that actually opens the way to more conflict, is difficult to say. Resource wars of one kind or another, but we do live paradoxically in a stable world, but at the same time a world with potential instabilities.
And what do you see as the major flashpoints in the world today, beyond, let's say, Russia, Ukraine, or including that? What are the major flashpoints today?
Well, I think the major flashpoints will involve resource competition, because resources are finite and they're running out. It will be affected by climatic change, because there are large parts of the world which are already damaged by climatic change and will be more damaged in the near future. Now, whether that involves high levels of conflict or local conflict is difficult to predict. But the problem of resources has been a basic problem going back through history, and it's difficult to imagine that this can be always resolved peacefully. I mean, I hope the 21st century is not a century of war like the 20th century. But as an historian, when you look back, it's very difficult to conclude that, that war is obsolete, or is still one of those tools that countries reach for, when it's necessary.